become untouchable, you must first understand the power of detachment. Most people in this world are controlled by their emotions, their desires, and their attachments. They tie themselves down to people, things, and outcomes that leave them vulnerable. The truly powerful, however, know that the key to invulnerability is detachment. To be untouchable, you must disconnect yourself from the things that others can use against you. The first brutal rule is that your happiness should never depend on external circumstances or people. When you allow your joy, your peace, or your success to be reliant on others, you give them power over you. To become untouchable, you must build your happiness from within, anchored in your own values and purpose. You cannot be controlled by what others think or how they treat you. True power comes from the ability to remain steadfast and unshaken, regardless of external events. This inner strength allows you to act from a place of independence, leaving no openings for others to manipulate you. The second rule is that you must learn to let go of attachments. Attachments to people, possessions, or even goals can weaken you. When you are too attached to something, you make yourself vulnerable to losing it, and the fear of loss becomes a powerful tool others can use to control you. The untouchable individual is not bound by attachment. They may care deeply about their purpose, but they are not enslaved by it. When necessary, they can walk away from anything or anyone without hesitation, because they know that their value is not defined by external factors. The third brutal truth is that your reputation must be solid, but not a source of validation. Many people live to please others and gain approval, but the untouchable person is not dependent on the validation of others. They know that their reputation should be built on their actions, not their need for praise. Your image must be strong, enough to command respect, but not so fragile that it can be shattered by the opinions of the crowd. Those who are untouchable can walk through life with the confidence that their reputation is established by their consistency, not by their need for others' approval. They cannot be swayed by fleeting opinions or shallow judgments. The fourth rule is that you must never react impulsively. The untouchable individual understands that reaction is a sign of weakness. It shows that you are being controlled by outside forces. Instead of reacting, they respond strategically. Emotional control is the foundation of invulnerability. When someone insults or attacks you, the power lies in remaining calm, unshaken, and composed. They don't give others the satisfaction of seeing them flustered. This emotional distance creates an aura of strength and composure, making them appear untouchable to those around them. The fifth rule is that you must always stay unpredictable. Predictability is a weakness. The untouchable person does not let others figure them out. They never reveal too much, never allow themselves to be fully understood or anticipated. They stay a few steps ahead, leaving others guessing about their next move. Unpredictability creates fear and respect. When people don't know what to expect from you, they hesitate. They become wary of crossing you because they can't predict the consequences. This uncertainty gives you control and makes you nearly untouchable. The sixth rule is that you must maintain an aura of mystery. Being too open, too transparent, invites vulnerability. People who reveal everything about themselves leave no room for mystery, and thus, no room for influence. The untouchable person knows the power of withholding information, and the more others don't know about you, the more power you hold. By cultivating mystery, you create an image that is larger than life. Others will be fascinated, drawn to you, and afraid to cross you because they can never be sure of what you truly think, know, or want. The seventh brutal truth is that you must master your own mind. Your thoughts dictate your reality, and the untouchable person understands that the mind is the ultimate battleground. Master your mind, and nothing can touch you. Fear, doubt, and anxiety have no power over someone who has trained their mind to remain calm and focused. When your mind is clear, your actions become deliberate and effective, leaving others in awe of your ability to remain composed no matter what the situation. Number 2, the power of perception and strategic silence. In the world of power, perception is everything. What people believe about you often matters more than the reality of who you truly are. If you can master the way others perceive you, you can control the way they behave around you, and in turn, you gain untouchability. The ability to shape your own image, to control the narrative around you, is one of the most effective ways to protect your power. The first rule is that you must control the narrative. People judge you based on the story they tell themselves about who you are. The untouchable person knows that perception is reality, and they take careful steps to control how others perceive them. Every action, every word, every gesture must be deliberate, designed to reinforce the image they want to project. The key is to never let anyone define you, to never give someone the power to control your image or your narrative. You create the story. You decide the roles, and you write your own script. The second rule is that you must appear more powerful than you actually are. People follow strength, and the untouchable person understands that perception often trumps reality. By cultivating an aura of authority, confidence, and composure, you make others believe you have more power than you actually do. This perception alone can put you in a position of control, because when others believe you are untouchable, they will treat you as such. The key is to never show weakness, never reveal doubts, and always project certainty, even if it's a facade. The third brutal truth is that silence is one of the most powerful weapons you can use. In a world that is always speaking, always reacting, always performing, silence becomes a weapon of control. The untouchable person understands that silence is not an absence of action. It is the strategic withholding of information and response. When others expect you to react, respond, or engage, the power lies in your ability to remain silent, to make others feel uncomfortable in their uncertainty about what you're thinking. Silence makes you seem far more powerful and in control than those who are constantly reacting. It forces people to fill the gaps with their own assumptions, and those assumptions often work in your favor. The fourth rule is that you must never reveal your true intentions. The more others know about your goals, your strategies, and your plans, the more vulnerable you become. The untouchable person keeps their cards close to their chest. They do not share their true desires or ambitions, not even with those they trust. The moment someone knows your full strategy, they have the power to undermine it. Instead, only reveal enough to mislead, to confuse, and to make people think they understand you. By keeping your true intentions hidden, you remain unpredictable and out of reach. The fifth brutal truth is that you must appear unpredictable at all times. Predictability is a weakness that invites manipulation. When others can anticipate your next move, they can counter you, and that gives them power over you. The untouchable person is always a few steps ahead. They move in ways others don't expect. By keeping your actions erratic, by changing your behavior regularly, you create a sense of mystery and fear. People will hesitate to challenge you because they are unsure of how you will respond. Unpredictability is a shield against manipulation, because when you never act the same way twice, others cannot control you. The sixth rule is that you must master the art of emotional control. Emotions are the greatest weakness in any person. They make you reactive, impulsive, and vulnerable. The untouchable person does not allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They are not swayed by anger, fear, jealousy, or pride. They remain calm, composed, and clear-headed, no matter the circumstances. When others see that you are immune to emotional manipulation, they understand that you are not someone they can easily control. Emotional control also makes you appear more powerful, because it's the mark of a person who is in charge of themselves. Those who can't control their emotions are seen as weak, and weakness is something the untouchable cannot afford. The seventh brutal truth is that you must never let anyone see you sweat. The more vulnerable you appear, the easier it is for others to manipulate you. The untouchable person is always composed, always appearing confident, even when things are falling apart. People are naturally drawn to those who seem in control, and they are more likely to trust and follow someone who appears to be calm under pressure. When you show your vulnerability, others see an opportunity to take advantage. Your power lies in your ability to remain steadfast, to face adversity with a cool, collected demeanor. Number 3, the art of manipulating others' weaknesses. To become untouchable, you must first understand that everyone has weaknesses. Whether it's a fear, a desire, a secret, or a flaw, everyone is vulnerable in some way. The key to maintaining power is learning to exploit these weaknesses. The untouchable person knows that others' vulnerabilities are opportunities. By understanding them, you can control the dynamics around you and position yourself as a force that cannot be easily undermined. The first rule is that people's desires and fears are the easiest points of manipulation. Everyone has something they fear losing, whether it's their reputation, their wealth, their status, or their security. The untouchable individual knows how to exploit these fears, to make others act in ways that benefit them. Fear is a powerful tool. When you make someone afraid of losing something valuable to them, they will do anything to protect it, even if it means bending to your will. Desire works in the same way. People crave things: success, recognition, power, approval. By understanding what drives someone, you can use that knowledge to guide their decisions. The untouchable person creates opportunities for others to get what they want, but only if they act in a way that aligns with your agenda. By playing on people's desires, you make them feel like they are making choices freely, when, in fact, you are manipulating their actions to serve your purpose. The second brutal truth is that emotional manipulation is one of the most effective tools for gaining power. Humans are emotional creatures, and emotions often dictate our decisions more than logic. The untouchable person knows how to manipulate emotions to create situations where others are vulnerable to their influence. By triggering the right emotional responses at the right time, you can control how people react to you, and more importantly, you can control how they act in relation to your goals. Guilt is a powerful emotional trigger. If you want to get someone to do something for you, make them feel guilty, make them believe that they owe you, that they must act to repay a debt or restore a sense of balance. When people are driven by guilt, they will often go to great lengths to make amends or fulfill your requests, even if it's not in their best interest. The untouchable individual knows that guilt can force compliance. Another emotional lever is the need for validation. Everyone wants to feel important, respected, and valued. The untouchable person understands that by giving others the validation they crave, you create a bond of loyalty and dependence. People will do anything to maintain their sense of importance. They will follow you, defend you, and give you what you want because they need your approval and recognition. Validation is a form of control, and when you use it effectively, you keep others under your influence. The third brutal truth is that knowing when to push and when to retreat gives you the upper hand. The untouchable person does not rely on constant force. Instead, they know that timing is everything. When you push too hard, you risk alienating others or causing them to rebel. But when you know when to step back, when to let others believe they are in control, you create an opportunity for them to make decisions that work in your favor. The true power lies in knowing when to take a step forward and when to pull back. By allowing others to feel like they have control, you create a situation where they feel responsible for their actions. This makes them more likely to do what you want, without realizing they are being manipulated. When you pull back, you allow others to act on their own desires, but you also set up a situation where their actions benefit you. The untouchable person is always playing the long game, using restraint and patience to guide others to act in their best interest. In your interest. The fourth rule is that you must understand the art of divide and conquer. Unity is a powerful force, but it can be dangerous if the wrong people come together to oppose you. The untouchable person understands that to maintain power, you must prevent others from uniting against you. When people are divided, they are weaker, more susceptible to manipulation. By sowing discord, creating mistrust, and playing people off one another, you ensure that others are more focused on fighting each other than on challenging you. Divide and conquer isn't about open conflict. It's about subtle manipulation. It's about creating a situation where people feel they can't trust each other, where they start to question each other's motives. When people are divided, they are easier to control because they can't act as a unified force against you. The untouchable person knows how to play both sides of an issue, ensuring that those around them are too busy battling each other to focus on them. The fifth brutal truth is that create a sense of scarcity and urgency. People act more decisively when they believe that time is running out, or that what they want may be taken away. By creating the illusion of scarcity, you make people scramble for what you want them to pursue, pushing them to act before they can think clearly. Urgency makes people more susceptible to pressure. and the untouchable person knows how to manufacture urgency when needed. This can be as simple as making people believe that a decision must be made now, or that there is a limited opportunity to act. When you make people feel like they must act quickly, they will make decisions that they might not have made under normal circumstances. Scarcity forces action, and the untouchable person understands how to make others feel like they have no time to waste. This urgency gives you an edge because it forces others to react to your timeline, not their own dot. The sixth rule is that always know your opponent's weaknesses. To manipulate someone, you must know their desires, their fears, and their insecurities. The untouchable person always does their homework. They know exactly what drives the people around them, what makes them tick, what they value, and what they fear losing. By identifying these weaknesses, you can manipulate situations, control outcomes, and neutralize threats. No one can outsmart you if you know their weaknesses better than they know themselves. Number 4, the illusion of strength and how to master it. To become untouchable, you must understand one brutal truth. Strength is an illusion. People are drawn to power, but true power does not lie in brute force or overt domination. The untouchable individual knows that strength is not about being the loudest, the biggest, or the most obvious. True strength comes from the ability to make others believe in your power, to make them see you as a force that cannot be defeated, even if you are not visibly exerting yourself. The first rule is that the perception of strength is more important than actual strength. People follow those they believe are strong, not necessarily those who are strong. The untouchable person creates the illusion of invincibility by cultivating an aura of confidence, control, and calm. They project themselves as someone who cannot be easily threatened or challenged. This image is enough to intimidate others and deter them from attempting to overpower you. When you convince others that you are untouchable, you become untouchable. No one dares to challenge someone they believe is invincible. The second brutal truth is that power is about control, not aggression. Aggression often backfires, making you vulnerable to attacks. True strength lies in control. Control over yourself, your emotions, and your environment. The untouchable person never lets their emotions dictate their actions. They do not lash out in anger, frustration, or fear. Instead, they remain calm, composed, and in control at all times. By maintaining control, you project power, and people instinctively defer to those who appear calm and unshaken, even in the face of adversity. The third rule is that appearances are everything. The most powerful individuals understand the power of physical presence. Your posture, your movements, your gaze, all of these contribute to how others perceive your strength. The untouchable person carries themselves with an air of authority, making people take notice of them the moment they enter a room. They do not need to speak loudly or act aggressively. They simply command attention with their presence. When you walk into a room with confidence, others will follow your lead. The fourth brutal truth is that you must never overextend yourself. Strength is not about doing everything. It is about being selective and efficient. The untouchable person knows when to take action and when to wait. They don't waste their energy on unnecessary battles or distractions. Instead, they conserve their strength, using it only when necessary and when the time is right. By maintaining this discipline, you appear even stronger because others never know when you will strike. They are kept off balance, unsure of when your next move will come. The fifth rule is that create alliances without appearing vulnerable. Power is often gained by the company you keep, but you must never show that you are dependent on anyone. The untouchable person understands that alliances can be powerful, but they also understand that true power lies in remaining independent. You must form alliances with others while maintaining your autonomy, ensuring that you are never beholden to anyone. When you rely on others, you give them leverage over you. But when you make others believe you have no need for them, they will willingly submit to your influence. The sixth brutal truth is that true power requires patience and precision. Strength is not just about acting quickly or forcefully. It is about knowing when to strike and how to do so with precision. The untouchable individual is strategic, not impulsive. They are patient, waiting for the perfect moment to make their move. They know that sometimes the best course of action is to remain still, to observe, and to let others expose themselves. By doing so, you gain the advantage and move only when you are certain of the outcome. The seventh rule is that you must never show fear. Fear is the greatest weapon your enemies can use against you. When you show fear, you give others power over you. The untouchable person never shows fear, even when they are outnumbered or outmatched. Instead, they project confidence and composure, making others believe that they are untouchable. Fear is contagious. When you show none, it forces others to doubt themselves and question their own strength. This mental advantage puts you in a position of power. The eighth brutal truth is that strength is found in restraint, not excess. The untouchable person does not boast about their power. They don't need to. They let their actions speak for them. True strength is in being able to dominate a situation without ever seeming to try. When you hold back, when you remain composed, and when you do not engage unnecessarily, you appear more powerful. People will respect your ability to remain restrained because they know that at any moment, you could unleash your power if necessary. It is the threat of force that gives you power, not the use of it. The ninth rule is that you must never reveal all your cards. The untouchable person keeps their true power hidden. They never let others see the full extent of what they can do. By revealing too much, you make yourself vulnerable. Instead, you make others believe you have more in reserve than they can imagine. This mystery gives you an edge. People will hesitate to challenge someone they don't fully understand, someone they believe might be more powerful than they appear. The more unpredictable you are, the stronger you seem. The 10th brutal truth is that strength comes from knowing when to withdraw. The untouchable person is never afraid to retreat when the situation calls for it. Sometimes, stepping back is the most powerful move you can make. By withdrawing, you give yourself the opportunity to reassess, to plan your next move, and to return stronger than before. The ability to leave the battlefield when needed shows true strength, because it demonstrates that you are not bound by your ego or pride. You are focused on the long game, and you know that true power is in the ability to come back stronger after every setback. Number 5, the strategic use of fear and respect to become untouchable. You must wield fear and respect as your dual weapons. Respect is the foundation of power, but fear is what keeps others in line. Fear and respect are intertwined. One amplifies the other. The untouchable person understands how to balance both, using them strategically to maintain their position and influence over others. The first rule is that fear must be instilled without being overt. The most powerful people don't walk around threatening others. They create an atmosphere where fear exists without ever having to explicitly state it. The untouchable person doesn't need to show force. They simply make others aware that crossing them comes with consequences. By cultivating an air of unpredictability, by allowing others to sense that your wrath can fall at any moment, you create an environment where people hesitate before challenging you. Fear doesn't need to be shown. It only needs to be felt. People must be aware of your potential to act, but they shouldn't know when or how you will strike. When others fear your reaction, they become more cautious, more compliant, and less likely to challenge your authority. Fear doesn't come from brute strength. It comes from the belief that opposing you carries an unpredictable but inevitable cost. This makes people act with caution, always second-guessing themselves before making a move against you. The second brutal truth is that respect is earned through consistency, not force. Many people believe that respect is achieved through dominance or intimidation, but the untouchable person knows that true respect is built on consistency. When you act consistently, people come to trust that you will always behave in a way that aligns with your character, and that trust earns respect. People respect those who are steady, reliable, and principled, and this respect is more valuable than any temporary fear. Consistency in your actions and decisions sends a powerful message. It says that you cannot be swayed by emotions, opinions, or circumstances. This consistency is what makes people bow to you, not because they fear you, but because they know that you are a force to be reckoned with. When you show that your decisions are based on logic and principle, your reputation for integrity becomes a source of power. The third rule is that fear and respect must be balanced. If you rely too much on fear, you risk being hated or resented. If you rely too much on respect, people may see you as weak or easily manipulated. The untouchable person knows how to balance fear and respect, creating an equilibrium that keeps others on their toes while also commanding their admiration. This balance makes you unshakable because people are both afraid of crossing you and simultaneously respect your abilities and decisions. The fourth brutal truth is that you must never show vulnerability. Vulnerability is the Achilles heel of power. When you show vulnerability, you give others the opportunity to exploit it. The untouchable person never lets others see their weaknesses, never lets them glimpse their insecurities. People who sense vulnerability in others often pounce on it, using it as leverage to manipulate or weaken them. To remain untouchable, you must maintain an air of impenetrability, making it difficult for anyone to get under your skin or find a weakness to exploit. The fifth rule is that you must be ruthless in enforcing boundaries. The untouchable person doesn't tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or disobedience. They set clear boundaries and enforce them without hesitation. People respect those who stand firm in their beliefs, and they fear those who are unwavering in their convictions. When others know that you will not tolerate any form of disrespect, they will naturally defer to you. Setting boundaries is not about being harsh or vindictive. It's about asserting your value and showing that you will not let others walk over you. The sixth brutal truth is that people respect those who are willing to take risks. Fear can be paralyzing, but it can also be empowering when channeled into decisive action. The untouchable person does not shy away from risks. They understand that taking calculated risks shows strength. It demonstrates that you are willing to put everything on the line to achieve your goals, and others respect that courage. Risk-taking adds to the aura of invincibility because people see you as someone who will push forward no matter the obstacle, making you untouchable in their eyes. The seventh rule is that fear of losing power must outweigh fear of failure. Most people fear failure, but the untouchable person fears losing control more than anything else. The moment you lose your power, you lose your ability to shape reality, and once that happens, you become vulnerable. To stay untouchable, you must always maintain a tight grip on power, even if it means risking failure. Failure is temporary. Losing power is permanent, and the untouchable person understands that it is better to fail while holding power than to maintain control while sacrificing everything else. The eighth brutal truth is that you must make others feel indebted to you. The untouchable person knows that fear alone is not enough. You must also create a sense of obligation in others, a sense that they owe you something, whether it's loyalty, gratitude, or favor. When others feel indebted to you, they become more likely to support you, follow your lead, and protect you from harm. Indebtedness is a form of control, and when others owe you, they will go to great lengths to avoid crossing you or challenging your power. The ninth rule is that respect is shown through actions, not words. People don't respect what you say. They respect what you do. The untouchable person's actions always align with their words, and they follow through on their commitments. When you are consistent in your actions, you build a reputation for reliability and strength. Others respect you not because you say the right things, but because you always act in accordance with your values. Words without actions are empty. Actions without words speak volumes. The 10th brutal truth is that you must always remain one step ahead. The untouchable person never lets others catch up with them. They are always thinking, planning, and preparing for what comes next. By staying ahead, you create the impression of invincibility. People will not challenge you if they know you are always prepared to counter their moves before they make them. Staying ahead is the ultimate form of control because it ensures that you are never caught off guard. Number 6, the mastery of timing and patience. To be untouchable, you must not only control the moment, but also master the art of timing. Timing is everything in the pursuit of power. The untouchable individual knows that forceful action at the wrong time can lead to failure, while waiting for the right moment can make all the difference. Patience is not passivity. It is the ability to observe, understand, and act when the situation is most favorable. The first rule is that immediate action is often a sign of weakness. Many people feel the urge to react instantly to any challenge, but the untouchable person knows that impatience can be your downfall. Rushing into a situation without thinking often reveals desperation and a lack of control. Instead, the untouchable individual waits for the perfect moment to strike. This is not about being slow or indecisive. It is about knowing when your actions will have the most impact. Being patient allows you to make calculated decisions rather than emotional reactions, which leaves you in control. The second brutal truth is that you must never act out of desperation. Desperation shows your cards. When you act out of a need for immediate gratification, you expose yourself to manipulation. The untouchable person never allows desperation to cloud their judgment. They are willing to wait, to bide their time, and to let others make the first move. When you wait, you make others act on your terms, not theirs. Desperation makes you predictable, and predictability is the enemy of power. Patience creates the illusion of control, and when others see you as someone who is never rushed, they treat you with greater respect. The third rule is that timing is about understanding when to act and when to wait. The untouchable individual understands the rhythm of situations. They know when to take advantage of an opportunity and when to remain still. Strategic patience involves waiting for an opportunity that will give you the upper hand, where you can maximize the impact of your actions. Waiting for the right moment doesn't mean doing nothing. It means preparing, gathering information, and positioning yourself for maximum effect. Those who act impulsively are always a step behind the untouchable individual, who knows that the right move at the right time is far more powerful than multiple hasty actions. The fourth brutal truth is that you must never reveal your full plan. The untouchable person never lets others see the full extent of their strategy. Reveal too much, and you risk being countered before you can act. Instead, keep your intentions hidden and move only when you know the time is right. Being unpredictable and mysterious gives you an edge, because others are left guessing your next move. They cannot stop what they cannot see coming, and when you strike, you do so with the full force of a well-thought-out plan that no one expected. The fifth rule is that patience allows you to outlast your opponents. Most people are short-sighted. They chase quick victories, act impulsively, and ultimately burn out. The untouchable person knows that true power is built over time. You will encounter setbacks, and others will try to undermine you. But the key to remaining untouchable is endurance. By remaining patient and consistent, you outlast those who rely on short-term success. You weather the storms that break others, and eventually, they will turn to you for guidance or fall away completely. Endurance is strength, and the untouchable person builds their power with every challenge they overcome. The sixth brutal truth is that you must use the waiting period to study your environment. While others rush, the untouchable person is constantly observing. They understand that knowledge is power and take advantage of waiting times to gather intelligence, to learn the strengths and weaknesses of others, and to refine their own strategy. When others are acting rashly, you are learning, adapting, and preparing for the moment when you will have the upper hand. The untouchable person is always ahead of the curve because they use the waiting period wisely. The seventh rule is that timing also means knowing when to withdraw. There are moments when action is not the answer. There are times when the best move is to step back, let others overextend themselves, and then make your move when they are most vulnerable. Withdrawal is not retreating. It is creating space for the right moment to arise. When you step back, you leave others exposed, and when they act too aggressively, they make mistakes you can capitalize on. Patience allows you to observe the moves of others, to understand their weaknesses, and to strike only when they are at their most vulnerable. The eighth brutal truth is that timing builds trust and credibility. When you consistently make the right moves at the right time, others begin to trust your judgment. The untouchable person doesn't need to force their authority. They let others see that their decisions are always made with careful thought and precision. Over time, people start to believe that you can do no wrong, that your ability to act at the right moment is infallible. This trust gives you influence, and others will begin to follow you because they have seen you make the right choices over and over again. Trust becomes the bedrock of your power. The ninth rule is that mastering timing means knowing when to wait for others to act. The untouchable person knows that sometimes it is better to let others make the first move. By waiting, you allow others to expose their hand, revealing their weaknesses and intentions. This gives you the advantage because you can act based on the knowledge you gain from their actions. When you wait for others to act, you create a situation where you are always reacting with more information, more clarity, and more power than they have. You control the situation simply by holding back. The 10th brutal truth is that time can be your greatest weapon. When you are patient, you allow others to tire themselves out, to waste their energy, and to make decisions out of haste or fear. By waiting for the right moment, you let others exhaust themselves with their own actions. You don't have to fight every battle. Sometimes the best way to remain untouchable is to let others fight among themselves, leaving you standing firm, unscathed, and in control when the chaos clears.